Alright, now that my TikTok is posted, it is time for me to officially start the stream. As I've said, this is going to be the last stream of Pokemon XD, partly because there's just not very much content left in the game, and partly because I am so excited to start my Scarlet and Violet streams tomorrow. Violet specifically, spoiler alert, I guess. But I'm not going to be streaming both games, that would be insane. But anyways, we are at 68 Shadow Pokemon snagged and only one purified because we're required to. I am a liar, man. It's not a no purification run. It's a one purification run. It's better than calling it a Shadow Pokemon only run because you're required to use Eevee at least for the first few battles in the game. But it is a minimal purification run. And I am just right at the end of the game, ready to do the sort of final boss rush. Hoping for no technical difficulties, or at the very least limited technical difficulties this time. But I can just save after every battle, and it shouldn't be a problem. Speaking of battles, okay. Oh, no, you can't avoid that cutscene, it looks like. I thought for a second I might be able to avoid the Gorgon cutscene, but it seems like you're just gonna get shot straight into the action. So, what do you have for us, buddy? I'd say buddy, but he's actually kind of our enemy. Gorgon marks the halfway point of the Cypher admin rematches, and it's good. I really like Gorgon. I think he's got a really strong character design, and he brings a fun energy to the game. And I like Snaddle. I like Ardos. I think that they're good and interesting characters. I am, however, still sad that Lavrina is just like shunted off to being one of the first Pokemon you come across, or one of the first trainers you come across here. Like you don't really get a chance to battle her, and oh boy, we'll get into it. But it's the strangest thing that, like, okay, my turn was completely wasted. But since we know he's going for Earthquake Protect strategies, I stand by my decision to Shadow Sky with Rapidash, even though it might... Okay, no. Rapidash is surprisingly bulky. Probably more like Slowking, not very good attack stat. But anyways, that means it is very likely that Slowking is going to be protecting, while Ursaring Earthquakes, which means that I'm just going to focus my attacks onto Ursaring. So let's do a Shadow Rush and a Shadow Rave. I know that it's not technically focusing my attacks, but I think... Oh, wait, no, they didn't protect. I did not... My calculations did not account for this possibility. It means they're probably not going to Earthquake, which is good at least, and Shadow Sky will finish off Ursaring. So, Hitmonlee goes down. There is a good chance that Rapidash goes down. I don't know what Slowking is going to use, so I think Starmie is probably my safest pick. Okay, yeah, that's on Rapidash. That makes sense. Fortunately, both of my Pokemon are faster than his, so both of them got to attack. And let's just switch into Scyther. Not necessarily the strongest start to this battle, because he's taken down two of mine for only one of his, but I think we're still in a pretty good spot. Certainly recoverable. And honestly, if there were a fight that I was going to lose, it should probably be this one, so that I can go stock up on items. Alright, Aggron, very physically beefy. I don't know. I think that regardless of whether Aggron or Slowking attacks, Shadow Rush really isn't going to do much to Aggron anyways, so okay. Neither of them protects, so it's a moot point. I just really want to make sure that I can finish off Slowking, and I don't think Shadow Storm is quite going to cut it. I was correct. Starmie, really good special attacker, but maybe not so good that I can take down Slowking without a stab move. Level or two higher Slowking, no less. Walrein. Okay, Iron Tail. I guess on Scyther? Yeah, that makes sense. Makes enough sense, I guess. Alright. And Shadow Storm is probably good enough to finish off Aggron, so I will just Shadow Rush the Walrein. And that'll be 4 Pokemon for Hopefully I can get a double KO. So, but it'll at least be 3 Pokemon for 2. Maybe Scyther will get KO'd, but I'm hoping not. Because Aggron's almost definitely going down, yeah. Good stuff, Starmie. Very proud of you. Poliwrath. Good, surprisingly good bulky Pokemon in Poliwrath. It has pretty impressive defensive stats. And on a Shadow Pokemon, that has the potential to be very inconvenient for me. Alright, Walrein is barely hanging on, and it uses Double Edge, so hopefully the recoil will at least be enough to get the KO here. Not great damage on Starmie, and not quite enough recoil to... Oh wait, no, Shadow Sky, perfect. So Walrein's going down, and so it'll just be Gorgon's last 2 Pokemon against 4 of mine. So yeah, we're in a great spot. And his final Pokemon is a Mr. Mime. Again, pretty solid special bulk off of Mr. Mime. Pretty interesting combination of Shadow Pokemon. Kind of a fun complement to Primeape and Hypno, his former Shadow Pokemon. So, I am not suspecting that Starmie is really going to be able to do much of anything. But I'm not sure if I want to switch in. Yeah, Solrock's not going to do anything, and I don't want Altaria to get any free damage off, so I think I'm probably just going to maybe Shadow Break, because Mr. Mime's physical defense isn't very good, just to focus it down a little bit with some Shadow moves. Yeah, okay. That's decent enough damage. As I said, Mr. Mime doesn't have the best special defense, or physical defense, rather. It has pretty good special defense. Not too bad on Starmie. Might get a KO on... Okay, no, not a KO on Scyther either. And Scyther gets to move. Perfect. Okay, so they're doing pretty comparable damage with their Shadow moves. And Shadow Rush, probably going to get the KO if it goes for Scyther. But it goes for Starmie. Perfect. And Shadowy Aura faded away, which means my Shadow moves are a little bit nerfed. Which I am more than happy to deal with. Let's go for a Break and a Rush again on Mr. Mime. Should do a little bit less damage, so we're not really in danger of KOing. Unless we get like a double crit, which would be frustrating. And Shadow Storm. Not good enough for a KO, and not good enough for a KO. Alright, so both of my Pokemon are getting to attack this turn. Ideal scenario. I would like Poliwrath to KO one of my Pokemon, honestly, so I can send Altaria in next turn, but nope, it goes for the Shadow Sky. Poliwrath is probably a preferable Shadow Sky setter to, what's his face? You know his face. Looks like I'm not going to get the top scenario, but I am going to be in a pretty good place to catch Mr. Mime, and I guess I'll just get a Shadow Rush on Poliwrath. See what we can do with that. I don't remember if Poliwrath's physical or special defense is higher, but I think its physical defense is higher, because Politoad's the more specially defensive. Not a catch, unfortunate. Right, that might be a double KO, actually. Which, good, because I definitely want Altaria in. And Solrock is defensive enough that it should be able to withstand anything. And the reason I want Altaria in is because it has a super effective move for me to use on Poliwrath in Aerial Ace. Again, Poliwrath is fortunately quite bulky, so it doesn't really run the risk of getting KO'd. But I can get some free damage off, which I'm pretty excited about. Alright, let's go. No, you're not going to attack. You're just going to throw an Ultra Ball at Mr. Mime. And you are going to Aerial Ace Poliwrath. Whew. I know I have a couple healing items in tow. I'm definitely going to leave after the Gorgon fight to restock on healing items. And probably Pokeballs too, if I'm being honest. Just get up to 20 or 30 Ultra Balls again. Mr. Mime is snagged. Excellent battle. Shadow Rush. We know that that's not going to do too terrible. Okay, yeah, no, going for Soul Rock too. Perfect situation for me. Alright, that's about as much damage as I wanted, if I'm being honest. So let's check on my healing item situation real quick, just so I know what I have. No revives, no max revives, 1 hyper potion and 2 max potions. Alright, I'm doing pretty okay. And a couple full restores too. Shadow Panic greedy. Shadow Panic might be a little bit greedy, I'm not gonna lie. But I'm not banking on my ability to catch Poliwrath this turn without status and with being at nearly full health. Pretty good. Shadow Panic will give it a chance of hurting itself in confusion. And Soul Rock is in reverse mode. I would like to get the heart gauge on Soul Rock just to see what its next move is. See if it's anything useful. So I'll probably just call you and Ultra Ball with Altaria. And then once, if this doesn't snag, then I'll just keep Shadow Panicking with Soul Rock's turn and just throw Ultra Balls with Altaria's turn. Okay, didn't catch. I like to let you in on my thought process about what I'm potentially planning after. Like, if it doesn't work out, I want to let you know, like, what's plan B, so to speak. Down to 3 Ultra Balls. Great Balls should still be fine, but I might want to hit it with, like, a Shadow Break or something, just to soften it a little more. Aerial Ace is almost definitely going to KO. Or at least get it too dangerously close for my tastes. But maybe this Ultra Ball will be it. Alright, the Ultra Ball was it. Perfect. 10 out of 10 Gorgon fight. I love Gorgon's enemy. I mean, I don't want this to turn into a rag on modern Game Freak animation stream. But, like, there's so much vibrancy and energy in Pokemon XD, like, character designs, animations, all that kind of stuff. Like, it's so fun and so strong, and I really can't say enough good about it. This is not an anti-modern Pokemon stream. This is a pro-Pokemon XD stream. I love this game. I love Coliseum and XD as a series. I think that they're really great and really underrated. And it is my hope that anyone who manages to catch the last little bit of this live or watches the streams in the future, I hope that you are given some level of newfound appreciation for these games. Highly recommended. My personal favorite Pokemon game outside of the main series, certainly. And honestly, if I ranked it as part of the main series, probably top 3 between Coliseum and XD, if I'm being honest. I think they really just are that good. And I don't see enough people really bringing them up as being, like, contenders for the throne. Alright. So we know he has max potions and full restores. Okay, I've got quite a bit of money to play with, so I think I'm gonna get 28 Ultra Balls just so that I have 30 total. Hyper Potion is 200 HP, which I believe is more than anything I currently have on my team, except maybe Snorlax. 106, yeah, barely over 100 HP, so Hyper Potions are still gonna be the way. The only exception, I might grab like 2 or 3 full restores just to be able to heal HP and status. But let's go for 19 Hyper Potions just to get 20 total. And do you sell revives? You do sell revives. I will take... Don't want to over-rely on them, but I'll take 10. And how am I looking on full heals? Do you sell full heals? Okay, you do sell full heals. I have 17. Okay, that's plenty. I am going to head to the outskirts stand just because they have a handful of like unusual Pokeballs, you know, like stuff like timer balls. I don't think net balls are going to be particularly useful. There might be one or two water types that it's worth having some net balls in the back. So yeah, I'll probably grab maybe a couple of timer balls and a couple of net balls. Nest balls obviously not going to be useful because I'm not catching anything even remotely close to level 30. And I don't know. We'll see what other Pokeballs they have at the outskirts stand. Because again, like I said, they have some more unusual ones. Not going to battle Willy. I know the Willy fans have been clamoring in the chat. They've been over the moon with the possibility of me rebattling Willy. Netball, Nest Ball, Timer Ball. Okay, yeah, so it's just those three kinds. Let's go 5 net balls and the rest in timer balls. All right, and that is all of my money for pretty good Pokeballs. Timer balls definitely have the potential to be really, really good in some upcoming battles because they're going to be kind of stall fests just by virtue of I'm using Shadow Pokemon, they're using Shadow Pokemon. We can't really do much damage to each other, so it's just going to be one of those. I deal a 10th of your HP, and then you deal a 10th of my HP. So I'm going to be able to stall out for turns pretty easily, which means timer balls are going to be quite helpful. So let's head on back to good old Citadark. And I am going to stop by the PC just because I've snagged a couple of key Shadow Pokemon. And I would like to update my team a little bit. There's one in particular that I really should have grabbed sooner before the Corrigan fight, but I don't know if it would have made my life substantially easier. So. Also, I've thought about it every time I've gone to grab one, but let me talk about these chocolate graham cracker or chocolate animal crackers that I've been eating. I was introduced to these by one of my wife's family members, and they taste like just the cookie part of Oreos. And I know that Oreos are kind of a controversial cookie. A lot of people really don't like the cream filling, and that's understandable to an extent. I think that the quality of the cookies themselves more than make up for any bad parts of the cream, but I really can't say enough good about the chocolate graham crackers. Yeah, I'll get rid of Altaria. And let's check some stats and move pools. Really good special attack, actually. Do you have Shadow Half, Shadow Storm? So you're all Shadow moves, which not necessarily the best, but since you're kind of a mixed attacker and you have Shadow Half, I think I might want you over Hitmonlee. Just because Hitmonlee, I've pretty much just been keeping as kind of like the token physical attacker. Granted, it is... it's about to really fall off on levels, so I think it's probably best. Mr. Mime, let's check you out. I know you're pretty specially bulky. Shadow Storm and Shadow Shed plus 2 hidden moves. I think you're just going to be a Shadow Storm bot for the foreseeable future. Probably not worth it. But you, pretty balanced bulk, mixed attacking possibilities, and Shadow Sky. What's your speed stat looking like? Because if you're faster than Solrock, I might consider you solely on that basis. 70 speed. You probably are faster than... Actually, I know for a fact you're faster than Solrock. Let's check out your defenses, actually. So let's... I like the idea of having a bulky Shadow Sky setter and a fast Shadow Sky setter. Rapidash is serving as the fast one. So 132, 85, 94. I did not mean to leave. 119, 84, 62. So it looks like you're actually pretty substantially bulkier than Solrock. So I will definitely swap you out. Starmie's got the Shadow Storm, and it's going to do better at that than Mr. Mime. Swellow also has Shadow Sky. What's your speed stat looking like? 116. And pretty mediocre physical attack, but you have Shadow Half as well and Shadow Break. Probably probably better than Rapidash, honestly. 106. And the attacking stat you can actually use is only 73. So I might try Swellow just for a bit over Rapidash. Okay, is anyone close to unlocking a hidden move? Looks like no. Also, Snorlax comes with the leftovers, which is pretty clutch. Gonna be good for these really, really stally fights. Do you have... Okay, only 2 shadow moves, so you can potentially unlock 2 more moves. But that bulk... Again, Snorlax is at exactly 200 HP, the bulkiest Pokemon we have. And still in perfect healing range for Hyper Potions. And Chansey, who I'm not using, but just for point of conversation, Chansey is the only Pokemon at this point in the game who could possibly have more than 200 HP, and I'm not using it. And, like, 200 HP is close enough to a full heal that, like, Hyper Potions are really all you need. But I believe that will pretty much do it. So with these Pokemon out front, I'm going to switch Snorlax to the front just because getting a hidden... I'm definitely keeping Snorlax with me for the rest of the game. So I'm going to at least try to prioritize Pokemon that can unlock more moves. Just because if they can unlock anything useful in these last couple battles, that'll be something worth recommending. So, as we go down this elevator, we're going to encounter one of the more interesting trainer battles in all of Pokemon. You know, I've said before that this sort of boss rush at the end is kind of reminiscent of like the Elite Four challenge in the more main series Pokemon games. Because, you know, you had Snattle, you had Ardos, you had Ardos, and then we just fought Gorgon, obviously. And then there's this random Cypher Peon in the middle of this corridor. And it just strikes me as so odd to have right in the middle of effectively the Elite Four challenge, just a random guy, like a random Rocket Grunt. It's not even like in Gen 5 when Team Plasma like attacks the Elite Four and then N, who's like the leader, battles you, and then what's his name? Getsus. Also battles you as acting as the leader of Team Plasma. It's just a random grunt. It's just a random grunt. It's so weird. It is so weird, and it's especially frustrating because like this is so obviously the perfect place to battle Lovrina, because like she's a Cypher admin. You know, we're right at the tail end of the game. It's the perfect opportunity to just do like a full-on boss rush of every single boss in the game. But instead, it's just this random Cypher Peon. I couldn't explain it to you if I tried. It's so bizarre. It's so bizarre, and I don't understand it. But with that said, let's just continue on with the battle. Kind of a pointless first turn, but that's fine. So let's go for a Shadow Storm on Poliwrath. Close to KO'd. Probably not going to get a chance to attack anyways, but nice to know that it'll have the potential to do something with its turn. At the very least, it'll absorb a Thunderbolt that could potentially... Oh no, Light Screen. Okay, I can live with that. I don't want to make contact with Ampharos, obviously, because static is static and it can be potentially really hazardous to your health. Particularly if you enjoy not being paralyzed. The status effect, not the real-life disability. Alright, let's see the power of Shadow End. Whew. Granted, does significant recoil damage. But the direct damage really cannot be understated. And coming out with an effect spore or two. So as I said, it would be really advantageous potentially to get a move or two off on Snorlax, especially because I'm definitely taking it to the final battles. Probably not 2 moves unless I like specifically like end the stream and grind its heart gauge. So I think I might just Shadow Storm and call Snorlax. It's so cute. Also, I could swear that Snorlax have the leftovers taken effect yet on Snorlax? I'm not sure that they have. Come to think of it. Let's go with Swellow. I'm not sure that the leftovers have taken effect, actually. They might not be able to take effect during reverse mode, is probably what it was. I'm learning all sorts of, like, interesting mechanics this late in the game. I think I really want to get Ampharos off the field. I feel like that's probably the best use of my time. I also know that Breloom is going to go for Snorlax with Mach Punch. So I think I will just burn a Max Potion on Snorlax. I know, I just went on about how Max Potions are, like, completely worthless. Oh yeah, I didn't need to worry about all that anyways, but that's fine because Swellow is gonna do some good damage, hopefully, to Ampharos. Let's see it. Nice, got the KO. Hopefully, well... Okay, Static is interesting because... I believe Swellow has Guts as an ability. I don't know if it's guaranteed, but I think it probably is guaranteed to have Guts as an ability. So that doesn't mean that it's going to be doing more damage. Let's check real quick. Just make sure that I'm not a liar, man. Guts. Okay, yeah. So it actually has more damage potential right now than it just had against that Ampharos. So I think this might be the play. Sky Uppercut, hopefully not on Swellow. All right. Sad. We'll never get to see its true potential. On the off chance that Donphan decided to use a ground-type move, let's go for Starmie over Electro. I guess I could have gone for Scyther if I was using that sort of justification. But Flail is not really going to do much. Good attack stat, but you're not at low enough health for Flail to do useful damage. And Shadow End should have no issue getting this KO. Beautiful, beautiful damage. And Effect Spore took place. I can just call Snorlax, that's not a problem. Anyways, out comes Dugtrio, who is a Shadow Pokemon. Which, the fact that this trainer also has a Shadow Pokemon is like... I don't know, it's so strange to me to just like... just throw it in at the last minute as being like... Hey guys, you like Shadow Pokemon, right? Let's just throw a random Cypher Peon into the middle of the final boss rush. And, you know, you can battle this guy, and that'll be fun for you, right? Like, don't get me wrong, I am having fun. This is my exact idea of a good time. But it's so bizarre. It's so strange. This Cypher Peon has always stood out as weird to me over the years. I don't like it, and it should be ashamed of itself, is basically what I'm getting at. Flail, little bit more damage, but really nothing to be concerned about. And Light Screen wore off, which means Shadow Storm is going to be doing primo damage. So let's Shadow Storm, and let's Shadow End the Donphan just to make sure that it gets KO'd. Alright, so now there's Shadow Sky, plus no Light Screen, so maybe the Shadow Storm is actually about to KO this Donphan, honestly. Because it's going to be doing a little bit more than double damage. Okay, not quite the KO. Honestly, kind of a relief. I was not planning on Shadow Ending the Dugtrio, and I really don't want to risk anything too crazy. Shadow End. It missed. And Snorlax goes into reverse mode. There's a good chance that I'm not going to be bringing Starmie with me into the final battle. So, it might be good to call Snorlax and just Shadow Storm with Starmie. I think that might be the play. Okay, no, leftovers did take effect. Maybe there's some weird thing where, like, leftovers can't... Oh, no, obviously leftovers and reverse mode damage just cancel each other out. Okay, I don't know what I was thinking. Let's go. Yeah, let's just Shadow Storm to finish off the Donphan and call Snorlax. I really, really love the idea of getting a move or two on Snorlax. Like, Rest would be good because I can guarantee wake it up with a call the next turn. Making Rest a pretty low-risk move, actually. I'm not sure. Amnesia would be great to boost its special defense even higher. A physical normal type move like Double Edge or even like Body Slam. Body Slam would be amazing. Okay. So I think I probably just Shadow Storm and maybe just try a Great Ball. Just a cheeky little Great Ball just to see if we can make it work. Okay, never lucky. Okay, Starmie is on its last legs. So I might just call it next turn, depending on how much damage this does. Okay, that's pretty good snagging range, honestly. So I'll probably just call Starmie and chuck an Ultra Ball with Snorlax. Call that good. Beautiful. Still have not missed a single snag in the entire video game. Very pleased with myself. Alright, I am going to go back just to heal because I want to be my best possible foot forward in this next fight. But yeah, I don't see Dugtrio being particularly useful. It does have Shadow Sky, and it's faster than Starmie, which means it's probably equivalently or similarly fast to Electabuzz. I'm not going to switch out Pokemon. I think Electabuzz is fine enough for my purposes. I think pretty much at this point, when it comes to adding Shadow Pokemon, I think Bulk is going to be the most important thing possible. Because there are only effectively 2 battles remaining in the entire game. Besides, like, optional battles, obviously. So I'm torn is what I'm getting at. Any cool items in here? Nope, no cool items. Not even lame items, honestly. Oh, hey, it's these two. Your security was actually very easy to breach, I'm not gonna lie. All I had to do was battle Gorgon and a random Cypher Peon. Which, at least give me a Cypher Commander. Like, I deserve that much, you know, but it's just a random Peon. Also, I have not saved in a minute, so definitely gotta save after the Eldest fight. So, he is starting off with a Ninjask and a Manectric. So 2 very, very fast Pokemon who I would not want to end up on the wrong side of. Alright. So I am going to, I think, go for a Shadow Rush on Ninjask, and let's try a Shadow End on Silverwind. Does that hit both sides or just one? Okay, no, it just hits Snorlax. I'm risking a Shadow End on this Manectric just because there's a chance, however small, that because it resists, the damage just isn't quite going to be enough to finish it off. I'm hoping that I'm making a good bet here. Okay, yeah, no, that wasn't anywhere close. Good. Good, 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 good. But we are hit with some pretty spicy recoil. Ninjask doesn't quite go down. And gets a speed boost. So let's maybe try Shadow Storm? Yeah, Shadow Storm. And maybe just Shadow End whatever comes in Ninjask's spot. Never mind, I'm a liar. Okay, Manectric uses Shadow End, but it misses. Okay, so important to keep in mind is that Manectric has Shadow End. So it's going to be doing plenty of damage to itself. Is this going to be enough to KO the Ninjask? Not quite. It's got a pixel of health. Very cool. So let's just Shadow Storm again and Shadow End whatever's coming in after Ninjask. Shadow End. But it's fine because you're also damaging yourself. So Manectric is eminently snaggable, and I definitely want to dedicate resources to that end before it KOs itself with Shadow End. Salamence. Quite a potent threat, and a Shadow Pokemon to boot. So cutting my attack, not the end of the world, but I don't love it either. Barely any damage from Shadow End. Probably not worth the recoil damage at this point, but... Okay, honestly, really stoked about this because calling it is pretty much the best thing I could do with its turn right now, and just snag the Manectric with Poliwrath's turn. Go for an Ultra Ball onto Manectric, and like I said, just call Snorlax. I'm really, really wanting to get that last little bit of heart gauge on Snorlax, just to see what kind of spicy move I can unlock. We're very near the end of the adventure, so every little bit of intrigue is something that I want to uncover. Alright, Salamence into Flygon. So let's see what kind of damage we're dealing with from Salamence. Shadow Hold, so we cannot switch out. Might be good for... might be good for a cheeky potion onto Snorlax, just to keep it alive a little bit longer. Tell you what I'm gonna do. I think I'm just gonna Shadow Storm, actually. I was thinking about Shadow Ending with Snorlax, but its attack has been lowered, and I don't necessarily want to deal with the recoil damage right now. Flygon uses Double Edge. Honestly, recoil damage is good for me, especially if you're going for Snorlax. Ooh, boy. Not very impressive damage on Salamence, but hopefully decent enough damage on Flygon. Yeah, that's pretty good damage. Shadowy Aura faded away. So let's try... I don't know if resetting Shadow Sky is worth it. You know, let's go ahead and reset Shadow Sky and Shadow Shed with Snorlax's turn. The recoil isn't something I super want to deal with right now. But I might throw a Shadow End if I feel that Snorlax is maybe on its last legs. Alright, no effect. Alright. So Flygon's probably a Shadow Storm away from a KO. So let's try a Shadow End on whatever's coming in next. Okay. Double Edge. I hope you go for Snorlax. I really don't. Okay, yeah, good. So it's definitely going down to Shadow Storm now. And so Shadow End will hopefully hit whatever's coming out next for pretty good damage. Probably not, just because of the Intimidate, and it's probably a Shadow Pokemon. I'm pretty sure it's a Shadow Pokemon. Marowak. Is indeed a Shadow Pokemon. The dramatic pause was mostly because I was eating, but it also worked in my favor from a narrative perspective, so I'm pleased with myself. Alright, I kind of just want to get Poliwrath off the field, and I think, honestly, Snorlax too. And so I'm hoping that this Marowak can get the KO on at least one of them, and I can send in someone else. Haven't decided who. I could go for the Shadow Half with Electabuzz. That might be something that I could do. Plus that Marowak has Shadow End, which means that it's going to be damaging itself quite a bit. Or I could just call Snorlax next turn. So let's just Shadow Storm with you and call Snorlax. Okay, not quite to its next move, but it's probably only one battle away. Okay, down goes Poliwrath, which I'm happy about. Does Electabuzz have static? Okay, it does have static. That honestly, as strange as it is to say, Electabuzz's static is looking like it might be our best source of paralysis. So let's Shadow Half, honestly, and Shadow End Salamence. Okay, goes for Electabuzz, hopefully gets staticked. No, not lucky. Alright. So Electabuzz, if it gets hit by Marowak, is almost definitely going down, which I can certainly live with. Shadow End. I would love if Marowak got staticked in addition to the recoil damage. Alright, not lucky in that regard, but that's fine. I'll send out Swallow just because I might be able to set another Shadow Sky. Or, I probably don't want to set Shadow Sky if I'm being honest. Oh no! No! Of course I missed the level 50 Salamence! The first Shadow Pokemon I miss snagging is the strongest Pokemon who I can get during the main story. Ugh. I'm so sad about that. Okay, Shadowy Aura faded away. Of course my perfect record ends on the best possible Pokemon that I could snag. That's so disappointing. Okay, Swellow also has Shadow Half. That's maybe something useful. Let's go with Shadow Mist, and let's just chuck an Ultra Ball with Snorlax's turn. I don't really want to go through the trouble of, like, trying to do a Mirror B rebattle right before the final battle because we're literally right here. But I'm so sad that I'm missing out on Salamence. That's so disappointing. Never lucky, dude. Never lucky. Oh, that's Marowak at least. What does that do? Harsh Evasiveness drop. Okay, you're just gonna set Shadow Sky. I don't know what your other move is, but I'm thinking Let's just go for a half on Swellow. And a Shadow Shed from Snorlax just to see if I can get it to go into reverse mode. Shadow Storm, okay. Snorlax lives on 4 HP, which means that I'll have a chance of using Shadow Shed, but it failed, and no reverse mode. So let's just go for a Shadow End, see if we can do anything with Snorlax before it gets KO'd. Okay, Snorlax lives on 3 HP, which will be 2 HP if the Shadow End hits. Reverse mode, please? Thank you? No, never lucky. Alright, so Swellow can attack again. I don't want to risk an actual damaging move, so I think I'll just go for another Shadow Half. And Net Balls do work well on water types, and if you could believe it, Lapras is a water type. So this might be the perfect opportunity, and the last opportunity. So yeah, was not a complete waste of $5,000. It was a partial waste of $2 to $5,000. Half damage on Swellow. Lapras squarely in the red now, and Snorlax hanging on for dear life. Alright, the Shadow Storm is probably going to be a double KO, leaving me with Starmie and maybe one other. Okay, yeah, Starmie and Scyther. Still so disappointed about Salamence. Really can't get over that right now. Okay. Don't want to do any damage. So I guess I'll just call Starmie and Netball with Scyther. I don't actually know the multiplier from Netballs, so it might not even be worth it over just an Ultra Ball. But I think it's a stronger modifier than an Ultra Ball. Okay. 3 out of 4 isn't bad. I'm so disappointed right now. That Salamence fled somewhere text has got to be like the most disheartening thing I've ever seen in my life. But at least healing is going to be more convenient for us. And okay. So Salamence. I'm sad right now. So who do we have? Marowak with the Thick Club. Pretty good damage dealer, but regrettable that it only has Shadow End. What does Lapras have? Storm Shed and Sky. Probably better than Poliwrath at least, as a bulky Shadow Sky setter. Manectric. Blazingly fast and has Shadow Sky. 107 speed versus 100 speed. So our final speedy Shadow Sky Setter is going to be my Nectric. Like I said, I think bulk is probably more important than any other trait at this time, just because I really need to be able to stall out. So maybe Mr. Mime over Scyther, just because special bulk I think in particular is going to be helpful. And we can keep Swellow for Shadow Half utility. And call this good. I am going to save right now, even though it means losing Salamence for real, for real. If the game crashed, I would have an excuse, but I'm not going to do that. I'm going to accept my defeat honorably. All right. Okay, Starmie is in reverse mode. I definitely want to get you out of reverse mode. So switch you out front. And just do a little bit of exploring for a minute. Max revive, hard to say no to, at this stage in the game especially. Also, something that I didn't see when I was a kid, on account of really bad visibility monitors, there are 2 scientists just hanging out in this area. And you might think that I'm going to rag on them for existing in the same way that I did that Cypher Peon, but these are purely optional battles, and that random Cypher Peon is a required battle. So its inclusion is just mind-boggling to me. Alright, Snorlax probably going to get its move? Question mark? Intimidate from Granbull is sad, but nope, no luck. Let's just Shadow End Shiftry. I'm not really going to be that careful in this battle, just because I'm mostly just doing it to get a last little cheeky bit of heart gauge before going into the final area. So, Body Slam on Snorlax. Okay, honestly, reverse mode is great right now. So let's just Shadow Storm and call Snorlax, see what we can get. Definitely got its hidden move unlocked. Well, one of its hidden moves. Again, I would love an Amnesia. I would love a Body Slam. Rest would potentially be useful. And that's pretty much what I can think of in terms of potentially helpful moves. Don't love that. Scary Face is going to be lowered speed. Only on Snorlax, though. Perfect. Shadow Storm again, and Curse. Interesting, but not really the boosting move we need right now. Giga Drain on Snorlax, okay. Did I go for you with Shadow End? I don't remember. I think I did. Don't flinch, okay, good. But I miss. And another reverse mode. Probably just gonna call for the sake of not having it be in reverse mode. Because Starmie shouldn't have any issue finishing off these other 2. Miltank. And anything else? Armaldo. I really like Armaldo. I think it's underrated. I'm going to switch out to Lapras just because I know that it has at least one hidden move. I would feel scummy just stalling out for time instead of just doing the final battle. But a big part of me really just wants to like stall for time to see if I can get the cheeky Mirror B radar before having to go to the final battle. It would make me so happy to know that I have every single possible Shadow Pokemon plus level 50 Salamence. Like, are you kidding me? Alright, so Lapras should be able to get the double KO here with Shadow Storm. Never mind, Milk Drink. That was an interesting animation there. Shadow Storm. Good damage. So it's definitely going to get the KO on Armaldo. And I think that even if Miltank Milk Drinks again, a double Shadow Storm should be enough to take... Never mind, there are 2 Pokemon coming out. Slacking. I guess just double Shadow Storm, and hopefully Miltank doesn't go for a Milk Drink. Body Slam. Okay, on Starmie. Sad, but you've served your country well, brave soldier. Do you have any hidden moves? You have 2 hidden moves, and you have 1 hidden move. Let's go, Manectric. The fewer hidden moves they have, the more likely it is to be useful on the first slot. Just because when there are 2 hidden move slots, there's usually like a utility move mixed in. But if it's only 1, I feel like it tends towards just being like a damage move. Like a utility move or a boosting move. It's not a hard and fast rule, as we learned with Roselia's Leech Seed very early on in this run. Good critical hit. I guess just Shadow End and Shadow Storm. Slacking is loafing around. Shadow Storm should finish you off. All right. Not very lucky on that. What are my Pokemon looking like? So you're right on the edge of getting a move. You've gotten Curse, which isn't very useful. You don't have any hidden moves. I know that I'm kind of stalling for time, and I promise I'm not just doing it for the Mirror B radar. I would like to get a couple of extra little bits of Heart Gauge. And honestly, the more that I think about it, Salamence probably isn't going to be terribly useful going into the final battle other than just being really high leveled. R&D Collar. Okay. Corsola and Tentacruel. Versus Starmie and Snorlax. I feel like I meant to switch someone out, but I just ended up not doing it because I'm a forgetful little goofball. So it's just Shadow Storm, and I'm just going to go ahead and preemptively switch to Lapras, I think. I know that Tentacruel is very specially bulky, so this Shadow Storm probably isn't going to do very much to it, but I feel like Lapras is more likely to have like an Ice Beam, or even like an Icy Wind might be a little bit spicy. And Bubble Beam, not really going to be able to do much. Yeah, barely anything to Lapras. Perfect. So let's just double Shadow Storm and see what we can make happen. So Corsola is almost definitely going down. Tentacruel should be at, you know, a third to half of its health. pretty solid turn. Best case scenario would be one or both of them going into reverse mode. I know that Starmie can't possibly, but Lapras going into reverse mode would be pretty great. Cradily. Okay, honestly, bulky Pokemon are good because it means that it's going to be longer that I can potentially go into reverse mode. Not quite a KO on Tentacruel. That's fine because Lapras should have no trouble getting it. Milotic. Lots of very bulky Pokemon on Cypher R&D Collar, which is great for my purposes right now. Shadow Storm and Shadow Storm. Part of me feels like Shadow Storm is a better name for Shadow... Critical hit, nice. Part of me feels like Shadow Storm hyper mode or reverse mode. Gotta get one cheeky little forgetting the name of a core mechanic in before the end of the game. Alright. Yeah, Shadow Storm feels like a better name for Shadow Sky, but I get why they named it Shadow Sky. And Gyarados. Alright, just gonna call Starmie and Shadow Storm with Lapras. Sounds like a plan to me. Nice, that'll be Starmie's hidden move. Water Pulse. Not terrible damage, actually, from that Milotic. Gyarados has awful special attack, though, so this should be laughable. Like, I know that I said laughable and then literally laughed, but, like, that was even more pathetic than I expected. Gyarados, for all of your great merits, you are not a special attacker. Recover! That is really good and spicy. Not gonna use it in this battle just because no reason to stall it out, but Recover, gonna be really useful against the Greevil fight, not gonna lie. Dragon Rage, that's gonna do a flat 40, which is pretty insignificant to our level 44 Lapras. Shadow Storm should at least get the KO on Milotic, and decent enough damage on Gyarados. Close to a KO on Gyarados. I would love for you to go into reverse mode so that I can just finish it off with Starmie, and call this good. Not gonna happen, regrettably. Alright, that's that battle. Alright, I don't want to just stall for time, because that feels a little bit scummy. But it would potentially behoove me to maybe go and pick up a couple of incenses. Maybe see if I can get the last couple moves on some of my Pokemon. Am I fooling any of you at all with this charade? Also, something that I realized is I do want to leave an open space in my party, and Swellow feels like the obvious cut. So let's just pop on over. Let's just pop on over to Agate, just to see, you know, what there is to see. Cause you know I've got a little bit of a change in my pockets. Maybe I'll come across something interesting. Have I fooled anyone? Have I fooled anyone that I don't just want to, like, get the Mirror B radar going? Yeah, I didn't think so either. I just really want to have all the shadow Pokemon before doing the final battle. That strikes me as one of the better ways to finish off this whole adventure. I do think, for all of my joking, that it is good strategy to have a couple of extra moves, because recover, do I need to say any more? So I'm just gonna burn all of my money on incenses just so that I can potentially get the heart gauge down on a couple Pokemon. Alright, sell. What do I have that's good to sell? I'll sell my vitamins. Because, as I said in a previous stream, decent money for rare candies. PP up, 4,900. PP max, also 4,900. You're probably not worth very much. Decent. I could have been using the amulet coin all this time, but I didn't think to. Oh, I have 2 leftovers. That's good to know, actually. I'll probably slam that on Lapras, maybe. TMs feel too precious to sell, even though I know I can't use them anyways. So let's go with this, yeah. So let's just buy as many Vivid Scents as we possibly can. 46 should be more than enough to get all of the hidden moves on the Pokemon in our party. First thing, though, that I'm going to do is give the leftovers to Lapras, like I said. Just because it's very bulky. I don't really think I have any other useful held items. Maybe if I can get like a hidden move, maybe like a magnet or something would be good on Manectric. So Cologne case. Just waste all of these. I'm getting a tiny little segment of heart gauge. Let's see how much damage that did. I don't really know how much it was at before, but it's at about half of the first bar. And we'll see what this does. Okay, so I'll just use 2 more before checking in again, just to make sure that it really does it. I'm not going to be in front of an NPC so that I don't accidentally just open up the shop menu by button mashing. I think I'm going to use one on Lapras. And just check on both of them at the same time. Okay. You don't currently have it, but you'll almost definitely have it when I throw you into battle. And then again, knowledge is power, so probably best to just go ahead and get it. So I'll use 2 on Lapras, 1 on Manectric, and then probably just chuck the rest onto Snorlax. See if I can get its second move online. Okay, need to use a 3rd on Lapras and then 1 more on Manectric. This isn't even really like the fastest way in the game to grind heart gauge. If you have been like regularly purifying Pokemon, The Purify Chamber well outstrips any other methods available to you. So you've got Blizzard. Very cool. And you have Flinch, I guess. That's okay. Very well, you know, actually Bite coming from pretty good special attack could be cheeky and interesting. All right, I think I'm going to prioritize Snorlax, and then any leftover are just going to go on to Mr. Mime. I should probably also like check to see how much this is doing. Okay, so it's at about a third of the second bar. Should check how much it does. So it was about a third of the second bar. Now it is... Okay, I'm going to use a lot on Snorlax, it's looking like. So I'll use like 6 and then see how it's doing. Yeah, I'll use until I have 30 left. Whew. Again, a body slam. I don't think I would love a double edge really, but body slam would be great for potential paralysis. Double edge would be fine for damage, I guess. Earthquake maybe would be a little bit cheeky. I don't know. I don't really know what I want out of Snorlax's hidden move. Let's see what you're doing. Okay, most of the way through the second bar, or the third bar. So I'll use like 3 more and then check again. And then the rest onto Mr. Mime, see how far we can get. So potential flinch utility from Manectric, Blizzard on Lapras, which... and then... Again, I could just look it up to see if this is even worth my time, but... I'm here. Okay, Body Slam, perfect. That is literally the best possible move that I could have gotten. Alright, and the rest onto Mr. Mime. I'll check after like 7 or 8. If anyone's tuning into the stream at this particular point, maybe not the most exciting part, but trust me, it's gonna be worth your time. Screens on Mr. Mime might be nice, just for longevity. Either or, really. Barrier, even if that's just to itself. Physical defense is physical defense. Psychic type move for damage. After this, we'll just check on our progress. So 7 incenses got us most of the way through the second bar. Encore, maybe some cheeky utility there, but probably nothing exceptionally useful. All right. So let's just use until we have, let's call it 22 left, or 12 left. If that doesn't get it, then I don't know what will. I might check at 15 just to see, but... Let's check Mr. Mime. Okay, yeah, we're gonna need to use actually several more. Let's check just at our original amount. Not quite, right on the edge. Okay, one more, and then we can head back to Citadark. Unless we just so happen to get a ping on the mirror radar, then I mean, we really gotta stop Mirror B. He's the true villain of the series. All right, let's see how you're doing. Okay, Thunder Punch, pretty useful actually. All right. Yeah. Let's just make a beeline. I'm not happy about it. Like, there's always a non-zero chance of the Mirror B radar going off when you do like a zone transition or exit a battle. There's always the possibility. And I would really, really love to see Mirror B one more time before the game is over. But I'm not thinking that that's... It happened! It happened! Mirror B is real! Mirror B is my One Piece. I swear to God right now. Oh, I am so excited. I have never in my life been more excited to battle Mirror B. Oh, I love this so much. I am never going to be punished for my bad behavior. Thank you. Thank you, Lord Arceus above. Thank you. Arceus doesn't even exist yet in this timeline, but I'm still gonna thank it. That has me in such a good mood. I'm not even lying. Alright, I am real quick. Just for my own sake. Give this to Starmie. So that I can make a little bit more money off of this particular challenge. Yes, I would love to enter a knockout challenge. Wait. I am going to save first, partly just because I don't want the game to crash, because it's been a little bit since I last saved, and I don't want to redo all of that. And I could always save Scum a little bit if I happen. If I do miss Salamence this time, then that's fine. I've learned my lesson. But I'm hopeful. I'm hopeful. Is all I can say. Praise Lord Arceus above for giving me this opportunity. And first battle, no less? Absolutely. This does mean that if I decide to save Scummit, it will be as fast as possible. I'm not going to. I'm going to do it legit. But if I did decide to save Scummit a little bit, I wouldn't be wasting too much time. I guess I should also mention that Mirabee's Pokemon will always scale to your current, or not to your current level. If you battle him in a Coliseum, it'll scale to the level of the Coliseum Pokemon. But if you fight him in like a Pokespot or something, it'll scale based on like your rough game progression. I also didn't mean to Shadow End. It's fine. I really don't want the Leech Seed to pass to Salamence. That would be kind of the worst case scenario. He's got a Voltorb. So I'm going to Shadow Break Lombre and Body Slam Voltorb. There's an almost 0 chance that this doesn't KO. Okay, yeah. So the Leech Seed is not going to pass to Salamence. Perfect. It is very funny to me that he's entering with level 20 Pokemon and also a level 50 Shadow Salamence. Just gotta love that. Very, very fun sort of duality of man there. Sonic Boom. Pff, pff. You think Sonic Boom can do anything to me? You can't hurt me in a way that matters. Alright, Body Slam. Beautiful damage. Alright. So, you're at pretty much full health. Let's just Shadow Mist and go for the Body Slam. Hopefully get a paralysis, but if not, just good chip damage. Harsh Evasiveness drop, Shadow Hold, can't switch out even if I wanted to, but I don't. Okay, I know that you don't have Shadow End or Shadow Half, which means all I have to do is be safe about my damage output, and I can potentially bring a Salamence into the final battle. I think Calling is probably going to be the fastest, so let's just keep Body Slamming, hoping for a paralysis. I think it's only like a 10% chance, might be 20. Again, I could look it up, but I don't really want to do that right now. Sadly, it's not technically part of my perfect streak, but it does mean that we have every possible Shadow Pokemon going into the final battle, which is a compromise that I am happy with. All right. You are on such a health percentage that this Great Ball is probably not going to work, but it's also, you can't stop me from throwing it. So I'll just keep Body Slamming with Snorlax. A critical hit would do a little bit more than what we've already done. I don't think it would be a KO, but I think maybe one more hit would be... Never mind. I am never punished for my bad decisions. Beautiful. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. All right. Now this is just going to be a pretty easy 1 to 2 turn. Just slam for the rest of it. Fortunately, with Shadow Storm on Starmie, we can take down 2 Pokemon at once. So if he has 3 Pokemon, then I'm pretty much guaranteed to do this all in 1 turn. So Shadow Storm and Body Slam on whoever, it doesn't matter. Because Shadow Storm will get the double KO, pretty much guaranteed. And then a Body Slam. Again, if it's not a ghost and if it's not like an Auron or something. I know that he has a Chikorita because it's the Golden Trio. Reverse mode. Not helpful, but I will just... Rather than burn a turn in this, I'll probably just use a couple of incenses to end reverse mode. I think Salamence over Manectric is probably the play. Bite isn't completely useless, but it's also not very useful. And Salamence definitely has better bulk than Manectric. So, plus Intimidate. I mean, Intimidate utility is very hard to surpass. So, that's going to be a rough plan. Shadow Storm, and yeah, let's just go for a Body Slam. That's the safer pick. I guess I could also call because I'm going to be... what was I saying? It's going to be a 3-turn or a 2-turner regardless, so I might as well just call. All right. Talo and Poochyena. So yeah, either of these will be a KO with Body Slam. Reverse mode really only matters insofar as I don't want to enter the battle with reverse mode. Because like I want to be able to use items turn 2 if I need to. So yeah, let's just Shadow Storm and call Snorlax. Plus I would like to avoid the passive reverse mode damage for as long as possible. So if there's ever like a mandatory 2-turn, or if the next battle is going to take 2 turns anyways, then I'll probably just call Starmie. All these people liking my TikTok and not actually coming to watch the stream. I can't believe this. Unless they're just like in some sort of weird ghost mode where their viewership isn't showing up. Okay, looks like this is going to be a 1-turner, so I'll just use an incense on Starmie at the end of the battle. No big deal. Also, if in case you were wondering, Manectric over Mr. Mime, really? Or Mr. Mime, like I'm keeping Mr. Mime? Thunder Punch is going to be way more useful than Bite. Bite has a flinch chance, whereas Thunder Punch has a paralysis chance. And paralysis is much more helpful than flinching for the upcoming battle. All right. All right. Congratulations. Thank you. Decent money. All right. So let's open up Pokemon storage. Ditch Manectric. And this is going to be the final party. Give or take one Pokemon in particular. And I am going to just Joy Incense Starmie real quick. Or Joy Scent, sorry. Incense is the hold items. Scents are just the cologne case. All right. Now let's head to Citadark Isle for real. I just feel like I have the devil's luck right now, you know? I just feel like nothing could ever possibly go wrong for me ever again for the rest of my life. It is so beautiful to me what just happened. And I hope to parlay that into a perfect Greevil battle. I could do a victory lap at Chobin, but I really shouldn't waste any more time. Want to make sure that I can finish everything that I've set out to do in this stream. And then I can move on and start Violet tomorrow with very little worry. I also, again, nobody's watching this right now, so it's kind of a moot point, but I know that I announced my stream schedule as being Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and those are going to be what I'm going to call my guaranteed stream days, and bonus streams are always a possibility, and they will be announced similarly to the way they were on TikTok. Just making a TikTok, say, hey, bonus stream is happening, be there, be square. All right, so how do I want to start this battle? I think Salamence at the front just to get the intimidate value immediately. And Snorlax feels like the best possibility. So I'm going to not go into the elevator, but I'm going to save right here. 75 snagged shadow Pokemon, that is every single possible snag up until this point in the game. 1 Purification because it's mandatory for story progress. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. And I don't know if you really save a lot of time by not purifying shadow Pokemon, but 18 hours feels very fast for this game. I mean, I know that the world record speedrun is like 4.5 hours, mostly just because you can't turn off battle animations. Oh man, guys, it's time for the unpurifiable shadow Pokemon itself. XD001, Shadow Lugia. Probably the number one reason why I would love a sequel to this game is to have more shadow textures on existing Pokemon. Now, let's call it the fair thing to do would be to battle this Lugia legitimately, and just go into the next battle, maybe a little bit weaker, but with the knowledge and satisfaction of a job well done. However, what I'm going to do is use the Master Ball on Lugia and just call Snorlax. And Lugia is going to be the last member of our team going into the final battle, if you could believe it. A level 50 legendary, box legendary in 2 games, 3 games if you count remakes. I mean, kind of hard to beat. And Lugia is going to be an absolutely monstrous tank, perfect for stalling out this battle. And Lugia joins our party. Beautiful. How dare you, child? How dare you snag my Shadow Lugia, my one loyal subject? There's nothing left, but I will personally see to the total destruction of your Pokemon. Fall. Oh, I love fall too. Glad to know what your favorite season is, Greevil, not Greenville. Alright, Rhydon and Moltres. So yeah, Intimidate value is going to be big coming out right here at the beginning. So, Rhydon is a Shadow Pokemon, as is Moltres. Greevil has a full team of 6 Shadow Pokemon. Obviously, my perfect streak is already broken, but I would like to see if I can do this all in one battle. So let's Shadow Rush Rhydon, maybe? Might as well. And Body Slam Moltres. Fortunately, with the Intimidate, that means that their attack is lowered. Shadow Fire works off of special attack, has a chance of burning, which could be bad. But not going to do very much damage because of Shadow Panic. That's potentially a little bit sketchy. I was kind of thinking about switching out Salamence anyways, just because I don't think it's going to do anything particularly useful. Alright, good damage. And hopefully a Paralyze. Reverse mode is fine. So I think I'm going to switch out Salamence for Lugia. And just go for another Body Slam on Moltres, I guess. Shadow Fire. Regardless of who this goes on, it's going to do basically no damage. Whew, beautiful defensive capabilities there, Lugia. Shadow Hold. Okay, we can't switch out, so I switched out Salamence at the correct time. Alright, let's see what this Body Slam will do. Alright, you are definitely low enough health that I don't want to Body Slam you again. Regrettably, you don't get paralyzed. So yeah, I think Blast down, Storm. Alright, I think I'm just gonna, believe it or not, I'm just gonna Ultra Ball with Lugia's turn, see if I can potentially catch this Moltres. And Body Slam on Rhydon. I know the Body Slam's power points are limited. I don't think I sold my Ethers and Elixirs, so maybe a little bit of power point restoration might be in my future. But I do also have Mr. Mime waiting in the wings, who can paralyze everyone except for Rhydon. Potentially paralyze everyone except for Rhydon. Alright. Critical hit still didn't do that much. I know that Shadow Fire can cause a burn, which would be a little bit scary. I have healing items aplenty, but I would like to avoid them as much as possible. Alright, good. Paralysis on Rhydon. Alright, so I think what I might do is maybe go for like a Shadow Blast onto Rhydon. I'm gonna check the effects real quick. So, Wicked Blade of Air formed using a Shadow Aura. So, maybe Shadow Storm would be good, just to chip Moltres down a little bit more. Yeah, let's try a Shadow Storm and Ultra Ball Moltres again. I don't believe he has any healing items. So I don't really need to worry about paralysis going away. Lugia is confused. Hopefully he is able to use Shadow Storm regardless. Beautiful. Not very much damage, but that's fine. That's kind of what we wanted. And not very much damage on Moltres either. Now, he also has infinite power points on all of his moves because he is using 2 Shadow Pokemon. So, Lugia's already confused. And, alright, Snorlax does get hit by the Shadow Panic, but it should be fine. I'm not really worried. So let's go for maybe another Shadow Storm with Lugia and chucking another Ultra Ball at Moltres. How many Ultra Balls am I on? 25. Okay. For 6 Pokemon, I think 25 Ultra Balls and a dozen or so Timer Balls should be good. Maybe shouldn't have bought so many Net Balls, but hindsight's 50-50. Alright, Lugia hurts itself. Not really that big a deal. Shadow Fire. Again, has that burn chance. It might be good to just call Snorlax and catch with Lugia's turn. Shadow End. Honestly, I really love that, actually, because it's going to make Rhydon way easier to catch. So what I think I'm going to do is call Snorlax, just to get it out of reverse mode, cancel some passive damage, and Ultra Ball Rhydon, because Rhydon's at really good catching range, and it's paralyzed, and it'll be good to get another Pokemon onto the field. So I'm just going to call Snorlax. Hopefully this is the snag on Rhydon. Again, it's paralyzed at about a third health. If he keeps up the Shadow End, that wouldn't be too bad either. But I think this will be a snag. Yes. All right. 1 of 6. 1 of 6. Exeggutor. Good candidate for body slamming. Shadow Fire. This also opens up the ability for me to use healing items on Snorlax if I need to. Lugia was burned. Definitely going to want to remedy that quickly. So I'm going to full heal Lugia on its turn. Should I? Yeah, I feel like this is pretty much the best opportunity I'm going to get to use a full restore. And Body Slam Exeggutor. Shadow Fire. Spicy, but not that spicy. Shadow Hold. I believe both of them are already held. Or maybe, okay, I think that, like, can't leave moves are per Pokemon. So, Snorlax hurts itself. Leftovers heals it and it doesn't go into reverse mode. Okay. So I think I'm just going to Shadow Storm and then Body Slam Exeggutor. I would love a little bit more chip damage on Moltres. Maybe try to get it into the red, or at least closer to the red, before really doing some dedicated snagging work on it. I think one more Shadow Storm and I'll be satisfied with its HP percentage. Alright. Shadow End. Alright, Exeggutor is lowering its own health. Hopefully this Body Slam isn't going to be too devastating. Based on how much it did to Moltres, I think it'll be fine. If it goes for another Shadow End, however, it's not going to be so fine. So, probably with Snorlax. Maybe just Curse? No, because I want to keep Body Slam relatively weak as an attacking move. Huh. I'm in a bit of a sticky wicket. Maybe I'll just call you to get you out of reverse mode. Open up my options a little bit in future turns. Because if Exeggutor uses Shadow End again, I'm definitely going to KO it with a Body Slam. Shadow Storm is fine, though. Okay, Moltres is in the red, so that is as much damage as I want to do to it. Shadow Fire. A little bit of damage on Snorlax. Does it get the burn, though? Okay, no burn, and yeah, Shadow End on Exeggutor, so really glad I didn't go for the Body Slam. So... I think I leave Moltres on the field, honestly. Because it stands 0 chance of KOing itself. And I can just use a Hyper Potion on Snorlax. I know I have all these Pokemon waiting in the wings, ready and raring to go, but if there's no need to use them yet, I would like to avoid using them. 3, perfect. All right, so the non-birds have been pretty easy snags so far. All right, Tauros, yet another Shadow Pokemon, as you suspected. And it has Intimidate, which means that thankfully Body Slam is going to be weakened for the rest of the battle. This is a good thing because Body Slam is purely a utility paralysis move. All right. A burn would be bad, though, on Snorlax, just because it's a little bit more passive damage than I want to deal with. So let's go for another Ultra Ball onto Moltres. And let's go for a Body Slam on Tauros. One. Not gonna do it. I don't have any pure status moves, unfortunately, on any of my Pokemon. Shadow Sky, not a problem. It is going to boost Moltres' damage a little bit, but Moltres is doing baby damage, so it's kind of whatever. Snorlax is out of confusion, uses Body Slam, which hits for not very much damage, thankfully. Do I get the turn 1 paralysis? I do not. Okay, that's fine. I don't know what Tauros's other... No, I don't want to... I do not want a Shadow Storm right now. Don't want to risk any more damage on Moltres. If Tauros has Shadow End, might be in a little bit dicey territory, but I don't think Body Slam could get the KO. Because it didn't do... It definitely didn't do more than a quarter, I think. Okay, Moltres is not wanting to cooperate. Shadow Hold. Okay, so it seems like all of his non-bird Pokemon have Shadow Hold. This might have been a good opportunity to switch out to Salamence, maybe get some Intimidate, but I don't think it's going to make that big of a difference. Honestly, the biggest threat right now would be running out of Pokeballs. All right. Good paralysis. So, okay. Let's see a Shadow Blast on Tauros, and maybe Ultra Ball on Snorlax's turn. This is partly just to see what Shadow Blast looks like, and partly because I know that Lugia is going to outspeed Tauros. So even if Tauros has Shadow End, if it halves its health, then it's not going to matter. But if Tauros still outsped Snorlax and used Shadow End, then I would be in a bad position. Shadow Rush, okay. So I don't need to be worried about Shadow End, I don't think, because that's Hold Sky. It might still have Shadow End waiting in the wings, but I can risk another Shadow Blast on Tauros and just use another Ultra Ball. Alright, and we are starting to get into the turn range where Timer Balls are outstripping Ultra Balls, but I would like to burn through all of my Ultra Balls just to doubly make sure that I'm getting the most value out of my Timer Balls. Alright, so that's as much damage as I want to risk on Tauros. Shadow Fire. So I might just snag Tauros and heal Snorlax next turn. That might be the play. Let's go Ultra Ball on Tauros, who is paralyzed and at pretty low health. And Hyper Potion on Snorlax just to keep you healthy. Alright. Barely needing to dip into my Pokemon reserves. And being very cautious with damage because I have never done a full 6 snag run of this fight. But I've had exceptionally good snagging luck on this playthrough. And Articuno. His final 2 Pokemon are both legendary. Like, he has 3 legendary birds and 3 pretty strong, just like normal Kanto Pokemon. Pretty devastating team. At least the potential to be devastating. Alright. Shadowy Aura faded away, so no more Shadow Sky taking up time. and that does mean that Moltres' damage is going to be a little bit nerfed. I'm going to now Ultra Ball on Lugia's turn, and start body slamming Articuno. Alright. Moltres has been very resistant to snagging. Makes sense because legendaries tend to have pretty low catch rates. Shadow Chill is, I think, has a very low chance of freezing, which isn't the biggest deal, I say, and immediately get frozen. But like it really honestly is not a big deal. I don't know if Shadow Fire can defrost, actually, come to think of it. Because I know that, like, normally if you use a fire move on a frozen Pokemon, that's like a whole thing. Alright. I think I'll just leave the burn in place for now. It does quite a bit of passive damage, but I'm not too fussed about that. Part of me is like, do I even really need to heal Lugia? Like, if I'm just going to be using items with it anyways, I can just leave it there. One. Rats. Alright, Shadow Sky on Articuno. Gonna buff the damage a little bit. Lugia can't escape, what a nightmare. Snorlax can't escape, what a nightmare. The Pokemon that I haven't even tried to switch out once can't escape. Alright, so now that Articuno is paralyzed, I want to do more damage to it. So I'm probably going to full heal Snorlax and get a Body Slam on Articuno. I'm running low on power points, but I do have Mr. Mime waiting in the wings. If push comes to shove, I can just let Snorlax faint. Alright, so Shadow Fire does not dethaw Pokemon, or defrost Pokemon. I don't know what the freeze chance is on Shadow Chill. It is fortunately not 100%, because that would be kind of busted. Let's just defrost naturally and Shadow Blast Articuno. Or maybe I should have tried to catch Moltres. That probably would have been a better use of my turn. It's fine. Snorlax was burned. Sad. Alright, so just because I'm low on power points on Body Slam, actually, you know what? I think I'm just going to let Snorlax faint because I can always just send in Mr. Mime for paralysis. Alright. Let's try to snag Moltres this turn. So let's... Again, I think we're past the point where Timer Balls are better than Ultra Balls, but I'm just going to make double extra sure. There's no PP left. Oh, Pressure, duh. Shadow End, I guess? I do think Body Slam has a higher paralysis chance than Thunder Punch, but nice! Okay. Out comes Zapdos, the Thunderbird itself. Greevil's final Shadow Pokemon. Alright. Shadow End misses. Shadow Chill does a little bit of damage to Lugia. I feel a little bit bad that I'm just treating Lugia as like an item bot, but I really mostly just sent it in to be bulky. Like, if it takes damage and faints, it's really not a big deal. Articuno is potentially in snag range, because it's half health and paralyzed. That's probably comparable to very low health and not paralyzed. And I just snag Moltres under those conditions. 1. Okay. Never lucky. Alright, Shadow Bolt. Similar special attack. 90 something base power, I think. And a chance to paralyze. Alright, so Snorlax is definitely going down to burn in reverse mode this turn. Which is fine, like I've been saying. And I can send in Mr. Mime to maybe get some paralysis on Zapdos. It'll be a neutral hit, which is perfect. Now, I could go for Blizzard if I were a foolish man, but I'm not going to do that. Shadow Roar faded away, which means that Articuno is probably going to burn a turn or two on Shadow Sky. So let's Ultra Ball Articuno, yeah. If it gets to the point where Articuno is the only Pokemon on the field, then I'll probably use some Shadow moves, but I don't want to risk a super effective Thunder Punch. Even on a relatively weak Pokemon, like Mr. Mime. Thunder Punch. Alright. That's the kind of damage we were wanting. Shadow Sky. They both used Shadow Sky. Great AI there, Greevil. You're doing beautiful, bud. Alright, so let's maybe try a Shadow Blast on Articuno, see if we can get Lugia to thaw on its own. And just hit a Thunder Punch. Alright, Lugia defrosted on its own. And Shadow Blast should do pretty small damage. Alright, that's a damage range that I'm comfortable with. That's not a damage range I'm comfortable with. Alright, let's get some good luck on this Thunder Punch. Critical hit, not the kind of good luck I was talking about. But it's good to know what a crit will do. If nothing else changes. Okay. Mr. Mime can't take very much more focused punishment. But I also can't heal it this turn anyways. So I think I'll just do the same thing as last turn and hope that neither of my Pokemon gets KO'd before it can do something useful. Shadow Bolt. Alright, Lugia is not going to get KO'd from that. Mr. Mime should be able to go before Articuno. Beautiful. Alright, please paralyze. Alright, Articuno's paralyzed. Great. Means that in hindsight I probably should have tried to call and heal Mr. Mime, but hindsight's 50-50. Alright, beautiful. Articuno is in perfect snagging range. And I've still got a whole team on the back burner. Going for Lugia means that Mr. Mime's going to get another Thunder Punch. Alright. Paralyzed? No. Shadow Chill. Probably a KO on either of my Pokemon right now. Yeah. Unfortunate. I do have a couple of revives, so I could bring back Mr. Mime if I need to. But I think I will just go with this. Is it worth it to heal Lugia? I don't think so. I think I might just probably just Ultra Ball Articuno. Maybe Shadow Break Zapdos, see if that's anything. Maybe doing damage isn't the best strategy just because I want to be able to potentially paralyze it. But I don't know, I've got like 20 Pokeballs. Or 20 Ultra Balls, effectively, including my Timer Balls. So, we are in... Okay, that did barely any damage, but that's fine. I don't really want to do damage to Zapdos right now. I'm sorry you're feeling that way, Starmie, but I believe in you. Shadow Bolt. A little bit spicy. Shadow Chill. Probably gonna KO Lugia, question mark. Yeah, gonna KO Lugia. That's fine, I can live with that. Intimidate's not gonna do anything, so I'll probably just send out Lapras because it has the leftovers. Shadow Yor faded away, which means one or both of them is going to spend time getting out of, not getting out of verse mode, but doing the thing. So let's Ultra Ball Articuno again, and recover with Starmie. If I could get just Zapdos left on the field, I would love that. One, never lucky. Recover, we'll get a Spec 2 nearly full, not quite full, regrettably. And Shadow Bolt. A little bit of damage on Lapras. Shadow Chill. A little bit of damage on Starmie. So let's just Ultra Ball Articuno and Shadow Break Zapdos. I don't want to use Shadow Storm because if Articuno doesn't catch here, then, you know, that would be bad because I could potentially KO it. Perfect. All right, Zapdos is now the only Pokemon on the field. That is the ideal situation. All right. Shadow Bolt. Spicy damage, but I can live with that. I've got Lapras on the field with leftovers, who's probably not going to take very significant damage. Let's try a Timer Ball, why not? And let us Shadow Break again. I could recover, but I've got Salamence waiting in the wings, and there's a good chance this snags anyways. Whew. 1, 2, 3. Perfect Greevil battle. Let's go. Let's go. And I got the Salamence right before. Perfect Greevil battle. All 6 snags in one. Articuno Zapdos. Huh. I feel bad for the viewer who watched for 8 seconds and then left because you just missed an amazing, amazing finish to this battle. Ardo's so incredulous at me being able to beat Greevil. It wasn't even that difficult, really. I just used the Pokemon that you made. They're really just contemplating killing a child right now, huh? Gotta love that for them. Aldous being the only one who's just like, hey, maybe we shouldn't kill a 12-year-old. Alright. So, I'm not going to do most of the post-game content just because there aren't any more Shadow Pokemon to snag, and a lot of it is locked behind Ore Coliseum. But I am going to see one thing if I can do it after the credits roll. Here's hoping that the game doesn't crash. And the clouds part, and it's a beautiful day here on Citadark Isle. And everyone's so proud of me. Can you believe it? I believe that you can't save until the end of the credits, which means that we're just gonna watch this whole end title sequence. How does everyone know about my victory the second that it happens? Like, they just see the storm ending in Dark Isle and assume that it's because I took down Cypher? I guess. See, them I probably explained it to, because that's my mom and sister. But, like, all these random citizens are just, like, cheering in the streets because they somehow knew that this random child won the day. It really is nice of all of them to face the invisible camera. Alright, cool, I can save right now. Alright, my progress has been saved. So I think if I just hit the old reset button, and that means I don't have to watch the credits. And if I can avoid watching the credits, that's the ideal situation. All right. All right, 82 shadow Pokemon snagged and 1 purified. Ore Coliseum! Dear Kevin, I've heard that you returned from Dark Isle. I send this message as an invitation to Ore Coliseum. I will be arriving shortly to ask you in Purr. What does Purr have to do with this? Anyways. So there is a battle coming up that I am going to just do a little bit of preparation for. By not walking directly outside, but sort of doing a little wiggle around the inside of the lab, so that I can access the PC inside the Purify Chamber room. So let's check our Pokemon storage. Let's see. There's Rhydon, Exeggutor, Zapdos, Articuno, Moltres, Tauros. I think really the logical choice here is let's just see. And who would be the perfect final Pokemon on this team? Great bird here. Let's get this bird going. All right. I mean, you pull up with this team, like, come on now. Don't tell me that you aren't intimidated by this. Anyways, let's switch. Let's do Zapdos and Lugia to the front. Why not? Let's put our best foot forward. And head on outside to greet Egan. Or Ogan, or however you're supposed to pronounce his name. Hey, how are you doing? Yeah, I have read that email you sent me. So, Egan uses 2 Pichus and, spoiler alert, 2 Pikachus and 2 Raichus. You know, it's not the worst team that's ever been conceived, but it's not the best either. Okay, so you have Shadow Rush. Let's just ruin these poor children's lives. Let's see what a Shadow Storm does to these level 45 Pichus. That's a KO on 1. And a KO on 2, if you could believe it. I said that before the health bar even ticked all the way down. I was just that confident. So out come Pikachu. And Pikachu. Now, I don't think that Shadow Storm would be enough to KO these because they're both level 50. But Shadow Bolt should have no issue, yeah. Just seeing Shadow Lugia on the field is so menacing. Like, look at how massive it is, too. So it's Shadow Bolt Raichu and just Shadow Blast Pikachu. That sounds like a logical course of action to me. Oh, love the animation of Shadow Blast. There's a lot of, like, little bits and bobs in this game that I haven't seen, just because, like, I've pretty much always just Master Balled Lugia so that I can go into Greevil with full health. I've never really used a lot of the later game Shadow Pokemon, just, like, for fun. So it's interesting to see. Also, Lugia is much faster than I thought it would be, because it outsped the Raichu. Shadow Blast on the other Raichu. Because I'm not going to get the Oko on either, probably. They're just a little bit too bulky. Good damage, though. Raichu uses Thunder, but you missed. Raichu uses Rain Dance. That's not great. But I outspeed, and I'm definitely going to get a KO now, and I'll get a KO next turn. Shadow Bolt, Shadow Blast. So, as I said, a majority of post-game content is locked behind Ore Coliseum. Which is all well and good, except you can't enter Shadow Pokemon, and that's all that I have access to. So, hopefully, there is one thing in particular that is not locked behind Ore Coliseum, waiting for us at Gation Port. I'm hopeful. Yes, the Mirror Radar. Let's see where the old Rapscallion is. Mirror B's at Gation Port? I just realized we're getting to see Mirror B 2 times this stream. That almost never happens. I love that. I need to work on my Mirror B per stream rate. So I'm going to go ahead and heal up just preemptively. I took a little bit of damage in that fight. Didn't use any PP, obviously, but took a little bit of damage. So I just happen to know that Mirror B is currently waiting for us at the top of the lighthouse. So why don't we go ahead and go over and greet him? See what Mirror B can do for us. And I'm not even gonna bother going up the stairs. We're going straight on the elevator. That's how important seeing Mirror B is to me right now. He's got his Ludicolo dancing out here, Trudley and Folly goofing off. Alright. I am going to save, just because like, I don't want to have to just, like, come back and rebattle him. Like, I don't want to have to wait for the Mirror Radar. Like, if I'm gonna snag him from Mirror B anyways, then I might as well just snag it from Mirror B right now. What am I talking about? The final Shadow Pokemon in the game. In a just world, it would be a Shadow Ludicolo, but it is not a Shadow Ludicolo, because we do not live in a perfect world. Alright. You know, let's Shadow Sky with Lugia. Or, Zapdos, rather. Fake Out. Probably going to be a double Fake Out. That's a Fake Out number 1. And, okay, no, just a single fake out. Not the best damage, but it's fine. I've got, ooh, critical hit. Still not the best damage, but it was a critical hit. Right, I might be weather warring with him a little bit if I go for Shadow Sky. So that's something to keep in mind. Do I? Yeah, I think I'm not going to bother trying to weather war with him. Let's just maybe focus down the Ludicolo's. Hydro Pump. Haha, you missed. Hydro Pump. Haha, you missed. Never punished for my bad decisions. Yeah, I was right to assume that I couldn't finish it off. Whew. Alright, now comes yet another Ludicolo. Are you sensing a theme? Noticing a small pattern maybe with Mirabee's team? I think he might like Ludicolo a little bit. Waterfall has a chance of flinching, which I don't love, and also just sizable damage in the first place. Hydro Pump, please miss, or at least go for Lugia. Okay, never mind. Poor Zapdos, never stood a chance. Let's go Salamence. Maybe in hindsight I should have brought something that wasn't Sableye, but it was for the meme, so it's worth it. Intimidate, not really gonna get us any value, but it's something. You certainly can't deny that it is a thing that happened. Alright, they both outsped, which means they both probably have Swift Swim, which means I don't need to worry too much about any like incidental damage. So let's just split our damage up a little bit. Salamence resists, and Lugia is just an absolute beast of a tank, so I'm not too worried about either of them taking big damage. That was pretty big damage, but it was focused, so... Maybe I really should have gone for the Shadow Sky, because these Ludicolo are giving me a bit of a rough time. Alright, at least one of them has to have Rain Dish, right? Like, statistically. So if I can outspeed one of them, then that'll be perfect. Ooh, Ice Punch. That's gonna hit Salamence, probably. Oh, no, never mind, Lugia. Why go for the 4-time super effective when you could go for the 1-time super effective? Mirabee, apparently. Also, yeah, Lugia, very, very solid defensive wall. No need to be worried. Alright, that should finish off the Ludicolo. And Mirabee sends in, you guessed it, another Ludicolo. So Shadow Rush, probably gonna half health at best. Yeah, half health. And do you have... Okay, no, rain stopped. Perfect, 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 perfect. So even if you have Swift Swim, I stand a reasonable chance of outspeeding. So let's do this. Good bonk. And out comes Dragonite, the final Shadow Pokemon. Salamence uses Shadow Rush, does about half health. And Ludicolo goes for Rain Dance. So let's hope for a moment that you have Rain Dish and not Swift Swim. I think you have Swift Swim, so I'm just going to focus damage on Ludicolo, because if it gets to KO on either, then that'll be bad for me. Okay, Salamence goes down. Let's see. Articuno, Freeze is probably the best thing to go for with Shadow Chill. Shadow Blast. Finishes off Ludicolo, no issue. Alright, Dragonite, just Shadow Rush, really? 55 base power? At least have, like, break or something. Granted, it might have Shadow End, so I should probably be a little bit safe with the damage that I do, but... I think technically Shadow Storm is more damage if it's, like, a single target, but Shadow Blast is cooler, so... You understand. Right, looks like it's just Shadow Rushing, which, coming from Dragon Knight's attack stat, is nothing to sneeze at, but it's not really great either. Alright, that did barely anything, but it's fine. We're mostly after a cheeky freeze. I would honestly prefer it to do as little damage as possible for the time being. Because the more times we hit, the more chance I have of freezing. Lugia not even close to even considering taking damage. Barely any damage, but it's fine. Do we get the freeze? No. It's probably a pretty low chance, like 5%, maybe 10%. But it's fine because Dragon Knight's got plenty of health, and we're really not running the risk of of KOing it anytime soon. Unless it just uses, like, somehow manages to use Shadow End 3 times in one turn. It really stands no chance of getting KO'd right now. Alright. Do we get the freeze? Please? No. Never lucky. Rain stopped. I don't think it matters. Reverse mode could be a little bit annoying, but I think it's fine. I would rather just get the freeze chance off. If we can just get it to low health, that should be more than enough to snag. But I would really love to get a freeze just to make it as easy as possible. Okay, looks like you're going after Articuno. Shadow Chill, please get the freeze. Probably 5% chance, maybe 10% chance. Alright. I think we're good to just start chucking Pokeballs on Lugia's turn, and just going for the freezes with Articuno. Alright. Let's just go straight for the Ultra Ball. Alright. What are you going to do for me, Dragonite? You going to be cool about it, or are you going to be a jerk about it? One. You're going to be jerk. I see how it is. Shadow Rush. Okay. So Shadow Rush is doing about 20 damage to Articuno, so I should maybe consider calling it next turn if I want to keep it alive for freeze chance. But honestly, if I don't freeze it with this one, then I'm probably not going to try, just because I don't want anything dumb with a crit or a high damage roll. Alright, let's burn through my Ultra Balls now. You just really love making my life difficult right now, don't you, Dragonite? Alright, goes for Lugia. And I've still got Zapdos and Sableye waiting for their chance to shine. Nice! Got the freeze. Beautiful. I love you, Articuno. You're the best Pokemon there is, except for the ones that I like better than you. Maybe just call for... just for fun, I guess. Ultra Ball onto Dragonite. If this doesn't catch, then I'm just gonna turn off my GameCube and end the stream right here. I'm kidding, I'm not gonna do that. 1, 2, 3. Yeah, there we go. And with that, we have completed the Pokemon XD No Purification run. We did, of course, have to purify one Pokemon because it's mandatory for story progress. But that is the final snag possible in the entire video game. I just love his Ludicolo's too. Look at them dancing. So as I'm standing here on top of the world, I had a really fun time with this run. It was a little bit of a slog at a couple of points just because I was underleveled and didn't really have any good moves. But no, I'm very pleased with the time that I have had. It's been fun. It's been somewhat difficult at times, but never insurmountable. I hope that you enjoy, whether you're somehow watching this live without me being able to see you, or if you're watching this after the fact. Tune in tomorrow for Pokemon Violet. I'm going to start streaming that just in time for the release is when I'm finishing this game. And I hope you have a wonderful day. That is going to be it from me. So,